1956, Switzerland. Audrey Hepburn is 6 months pregnant. Everything is perfect. The pregnancy is progressing normally. No complications. She feels the baby moving. Strong kicks, active, and she knows. It's a girl. Audrey is 27 years old, fresh off her Oscar win for Roman Holiday. Sabrina was a massive success. She's married to Mel Ferrer. Beautiful home, money, fame, everything. And now, a daughter. 6 months along. Just 3 more months until she holds her baby girl. But something goes wrong. Suddenly, without warning, bleeding, pain, panic, hospital, doctors, worried faces. "We're so sorry, Miss Hepburn. The baby, we've lost the heartbeat." 6 months. A fully formed baby girl. Gone. Dead inside her. No explanation. Years later, Audrey will say, "My miscarriages were more painful to me than anything ever, including my parents' divorce and the disappearance of my father." More painful than her father abandoning her at age 6. More painful than war. More painful than starvation. The loss of this baby girl was the deepest pain of her life. Decades later, her son Sean will tell the story. "I know that the second loss which was at 6 months in the pregnancy, was very hard. It was a little girl, and she was going to be my older sister. My older sister. A person who almost existed. A life that almost was." This is the story of that baby girl, the daughter Audrey Hepburn lost at 6 months. The miscarriage that nearly destroyed her. The grief that changed her forever. To understand the devastation of the second miscarriage, you need to understand the first. March 1955, Audrey's first pregnancy. She and Mel married in September 1954. By December, she's pregnant, first child. They're ecstatic. Audrey has always wanted children. Early pregnancy is normal. Morning sickness, fatigue, but nothing concerning. Doctors say everything looks good. 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, everything progressing. Audrey is glowing, planning the nursery, choosing names. Then, March 1955, 13 weeks pregnant, cramping, spotting, hospital. The doctor examines her. "I'm sorry, Miss Hepburn, there's no heartbeat. The pregnancy is terminated." Miscarriage, 13 weeks, first trimester. The baby is gone. Audrey is devastated, but the doctors are reassuring. This is very common. First pregnancies often miscarry. There's no reason you can't have a healthy pregnancy next time. Audrey goes home, grieves. But she's young, only 26. She can try again. Mel is supportive. "We'll try again. As soon as the doctors say it's safe, we'll try again." 3 months later, June 1955, Audrey is cleared to try again. Nothing happens. July, August, September. No pregnancy. Audrey starts to worry. October 1955. Still nothing. Tests show she's healthy, fertile. Just be patient. It will happen. November 1955. Finally. Positive pregnancy test. Second pregnancy. Second chance. This time will be different. Audrey is cautious, careful, rests more, follows every doctor's instruction. First trimester passes. No bleeding, everything normal. 13 weeks. Past the point where she lost the first baby. She's made it further. Second trimester begins. 14 weeks, 15, 16. Audrey starts to show. This pregnancy feels real, solid, safe. 20 weeks, 5 months. The anatomy scan, ultrasound. They see the baby, moving, alive. Perfect. Everything looks great. Strong heartbeat, good size. Can you tell the gender? Audrey asks. The technician smiles. It's a girl. You're having a daughter. A girl. A daughter. Audrey starts crying. Happy tears. A daughter. Everything she's wanted. They leave the hospital elated. A daughter. Healthy. Growing. 3.5 months to go. Audrey starts preparing. Buys baby clothes. Sets up the nursery. Pink. Soft. Beautiful. A room for her daughter. 24 weeks, 6 months pregnant. The pregnancy is going perfectly. No complications. Just 3 more months. Then she'll have her daughter. Then everything falls apart. It starts with cramping. Mild at first. Audrey assumes Braxton Hicks contractions. Practice contractions. Normal. I'm having some cramping. But the doctor said that's normal. But the cramping intensifies, becomes painful. Then the bleeding starts. Not spotting, bleeding, heavy. Mel, she screams. Call the doctor. Something's wrong. Ambulance, hospital, emergency room. Audrey lying on a table, crying, begging. Please save my baby. She's 6 months. She's viable. Please. The doctor uses a Doppler, searching for the heartbeat. Silent room, everyone listening, waiting. Nothing, no heartbeat, no sound. I'm so sorry, Miss Hepburn. There's no heartbeat. The baby has passed. No, not possible. Audrey felt her moving yesterday. Strong kicks. How can she be gone? Check again. Please check again. I've checked multiple times. I'm so sorry. The baby is gone. Mel is beside her, both crying. Their daughter is dead. 6 months. Almost viable, but not quite. Why? Audrey asks. Why did this happen? The doctors exchange looks. We don't know. There's no obvious cause. Sometimes pregnancies just end. We can't always explain why. 1956, medical science is limited. They don't understand cervical incompetence, can't explain late-term miscarriages. They just know. Sometimes babies die. Labor is induced. Audrey spends 18 hours delivering a baby. She'll never hear cry. Finally, the baby is born. A girl. Perfect. Fully formed, tiny, silent, dead. The nurse wraps her in a blanket. Would you like to hold her? Audrey nods. The nurse places the baby in her arms. Audrey looks at her daughter. Perfect. Beautiful. Dead. She has Audrey's nose, Mel's chin, tiny fingers. Perfect in every way except one. She's not alive. Audrey holds her daughter for hours, crying, memorizing her face. This is the only time. She'll never hold her daughter again. Finally, the nurse comes. Miss Hepburn, we need to take her now. Audrey kisses her daughter's forehead, whispers, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't keep you safe. I love you. I'll always love you. She hands the baby to the nurse, watches her daughter disappear, gone forever. The grief is unbearable. Audrey spends weeks in bed, unable to function, unable to understand. Why? The doctors have no answers. Sometimes these things just happen. It's not your fault. But Audrey doesn't believe them. She must have done something wrong. That's what her grief brain tells her. Mel tries to help, but he's grieving too. We can try again when you're ready. Audrey looks at him, empty eyes. What if I can't? I've lost 2 now. 2. What if I'm broken? You're not broken. The doctors don't know anything. They don't know why she died. I can't go through this again. Mel holds her, lets her cry, hopes time will heal. But time doesn't heal. Months pass. Audrey returns to work, has to contractually, but she's destroyed at home. Her son Sean will later describe this period. What happens is exponential. The first one is a tragedy, and the second one is not just another tragedy. But it gets you so many more miles away from thinking that you'll ever be able to have a child. Exponential. Not just twice as bad, exponentially worse. Because the first was early, the second was 6 months. A fully formed baby, a daughter. That's devastation. Audrey starts to believe she'll never have children. Her body is broken. She's lost 2 babies. Why would a third be different? 1957. 1 year after losing her daughter. Audrey is offered The Nun's Story, a film about a nun who struggles with faith. Audrey accepts. She's struggling with faith too. Why would God let her carry 6 months, feel her daughter move, then take her away? The film is released in 1959. Audrey is nominated for an Oscar. Doesn't win. But the nomination validates her. 1959, 3 years after losing her daughter. Audrey is filming The Unforgiven. Western. Horseback riding. Dangerous. One day during filming, Audrey's horse stumbles. She's thrown, falls, lands on a rock. Her back. Pain. Immediate. Intense. Can't move. Hospital. X-rays reveal fractured vertebra. Audrey's back is broken. But there's another problem. Audrey is pregnant. Again. 3 months along. And the fall, the broken back, high risk. Very high risk. The doctors are blunt. The pregnancy probably won't survive. We recommend termination. But Audrey refuses. No, I'm keeping this baby, no matter what. The risk? I don't care. I'm keeping my baby. She's determined, desperate. This might be her last chance. Hospital, bed rest, complete bed rest. Can't move, just lie still. Let her body heal. Weeks pass, 4 months pregnant, 5 months. The baby is still alive. But it's not different. 5 months pregnant, almost 6 months, almost the same point. Audrey starts bleeding. No, not again. Please, not again. But yes, again, miscarriage. The third baby, gone. This time, Audrey doesn't cry, doesn't scream. She just shuts down, goes numb. Because feeling means pain. 3 miscarriages, 3 dead babies. She'll never be a mother. That dream is dead. 1960. Audrey is 31 years old. 4 years since she lost her daughter. 3 miscarriages. 3 dead babies. She's given up hope. Then, surprise. Positive pregnancy test. 4th pregnancy. Audrey doesn't feel hope. She feels dread, terror, because she knows how this ends. She doesn't tell anyone at first, doesn't want sympathy. But weeks pass, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. No bleeding. The pregnancy continues. 13 weeks, 14, 15. She's made it further than the first pregnancy. Audrey is terrified. Every day is agony. Waiting for bleeding. Waiting for loss. 16 weeks. 17. 18. Movement. The baby moving. Alive. She doesn't let herself hope. Her daughter moved too, then stopped. 20 weeks. 5 months. The anatomy scan. Audrey is shaking, terrified. Everything looks great. Strong heartbeat, good size, healthy pregnancy. Audrey doesn't ask the gender, doesn't want to know, because knowing makes it real. 24 weeks, 6 months. The point where she lost her daughter, the deadline. Audrey is on bed rest, complete bed rest, terrified that movement will trigger miscarriage. Days pass, no bleeding. The baby is still alive. 1 week past the daughter's death point. 2 weeks. Still alive, still moving. Audrey starts to hope. Carefully. Maybe this time is different. 28 weeks. 7 months. Viable. If born now, it could survive. Audrey exhales. She lets herself believe. This baby might live. 38 weeks, full term, labor, natural labor, 16 hours, long, painful, but normal. Finally, the baby is born, alive, crying, breathing, real. It's a boy, healthy, perfect. Congratulations. A boy. Audrey holds him, her son, the baby who survived, the miracle. She names him Sean Hepburn Ferrer, born June 17, 1960, after 3 miscarriages, after 4 years of grief. Finally, a baby who lives. Audrey cries, happy tears, relief. She has a son, a living son, breathing, moving, alive. Sean is a miracle. The baby who lived when 3 others died. The son who proved that loss doesn't have to be permanent. But even holding Sean, Audrey thinks about the daughter, the girl who would have been 4 years old now. The girl who would have been Sean's older sister. Sean grows up knowing he's special. Not because he's Audrey Hepburn's son, but because he almost didn't exist. Because his mother lost 3 babies before him. Audrey doesn't hide this. She's honest. Age appropriate, but honest. You had brothers or sisters who didn't make it, Audrey tells young Sean. Before you were born, 3 babies. They died before they were born. Why? Sean asks. I don't know. The doctors didn't know. Sometimes babies just don't survive. But you did. And I'm so grateful. As Sean gets older, Audrey tells him more. About the first miscarriage, 13 weeks, about the third, after the horseback fall, and about the second, the one that broke her. I was 6 months pregnant, with a girl, your sister. I knew she was a girl. I felt her moving every day. I thought she would live. Everything was perfect. What happened? Sean asks. She died. Inside me, no warning, no explanation. I had to deliver her, hold her, say goodbye. Sean is quiet, processing, imagining a sister, an older sister. What would her name have been? Audrey pauses. I thought about naming her after my mother, Ella, or maybe Kathleen. I never decided. She died before I could decide. Sean thinks about this. A sister named Ella, or Kathleen, born in 1956, 4 when Sean was born in 1960. I wish I'd met her, Sean says. So do I. every day. That conversation shapes Sean, makes him understand his mother differently. She's not just a movie star. She's a woman who lost 3 children, who smiled for cameras while mourning a daughter. Years later, decades later, Sean will speak publicly about his sister. In the 2020 documentary Audrey, I know that the second loss was, which was at 6 months in the pregnancy, was very hard, Sean tells Sky News. It was a little girl, and she was going to be my older sister. My older sister. A person who almost was. A life that almost happened. What happens is exponential, Sean explains. The first one is a tragedy, and the second one is not just another tragedy, but it gets you so many more miles away from thinking that you'll ever be able to have a child. Exponential. Not just doubled grief. Grief multiplied. Compounded. Sean also learns about the medical mystery, why his sister died. There was no explanation. People didn't know about incompetent cervix or about any of that in those days, Sean says. Incompetent cervix, cervical weakness, a condition where the cervix opens too early in pregnancy, causes late-term miscarriages, like Audrey's at 6 months. Today, doctors know about this. Test for it, treat it. A simple procedure, cervical cerclage, a stitch to keep the cervix closed, can prevent these losses. But in 1956, doctors didn't know, didn't test, didn't treat. They just shrugged. Sometimes babies die. That ignorance killed Audrey's daughter. That medical gap. Today, with modern medicine, that baby girl would have lived. Would have been born healthy. Would have been Sean's older sister. But she wasn't born. Wasn't saved. Because medicine failed. Because knowledge didn't exist yet. And Audrey carried that grief for the rest of her life. Audrey Hepburn lost her father at age 6. That was traumatic, scarring. She endured World War II. Starvation, Nazi occupation, nearly died herself. She had 2 failed marriages, both ended in divorce. Both were painful. But none of that was her greatest pain. Her greatest pain was losing her daughter, the baby girl at 6 months, the miscarriage in 1956. Audrey said it herself. My miscarriages were more painful to me than anything ever, including my parents' divorce and the disappearance of my father. More painful than anything. Specifically the second one. The daughter, the 6-month loss, the deepest pain, the wound that never healed. Even after Sean was born in 1960, even after proving she could carry a pregnancy, Audrey never forgot the daughter. 10 years later, in 1970, Audrey had another son, Luca. Another miracle. Another healthy pregnancy. But even then, even with 2 living sons, Audrey thought about the daughter, the girl between them. She would have been 14 when Luca was born, would have helped with the baby, been the big sister, the only daughter. But she didn't exist. Died before she was born. Left a hole that 2 sons couldn't quite fill. Not because Sean and Luca weren't enough, but because the daughter was always there, always missing. Audrey never spoke publicly about the miscarriages. She kept that grief private, personal. But people close to her knew, saw the pain. Her son Sean saw it. grew up knowing I have a sister I never met. Her partner, Robert Wolders, saw it in quiet moments. When Audrey would stare into space, mourning something no one else could see. Her friends saw it, the way Audrey gravitated toward children, especially girls, the way she lit up around them, and the sadness in her eyes. January 20th, 1993. Audrey Hepburn dies, age 63, cancer, surrounded by family, Robert, Sean, Luca. But some wonder, in those final moments, did she think about the daughter? The girl who died at 6 months? The baby she held once, dead and never again? Did she imagine reunion? Meeting her daughter in whatever comes next? Finally learning her name? Finally hearing her voice? We don't know. Audrey's final thoughts were her own. But we know this. She carried that grief for 37 years. From 1956 to 1993, the daughter was always there, always remembered, always loved. Even after 2 living sons, even after a successful career, even after humanitarian work, even after everything she achieved, the daughter was still there, still missed, still mourned. That's the power of loss. It doesn't diminish with time, doesn't fade with other joys, doesn't get replaced. It just exists, permanent, a hole in the shape of a daughter who almost was. 1956. Audrey Hepburn is 6 months pregnant with a girl. She knows it's a girl, feels her moving, plans her future. Then the baby dies. No warning, no explanation, just gone. Audrey delivers her dead daughter, holds her, memorizes her face, says goodbye. This is the only time, the only moment. The grief is unbearable, more painful than anything, more painful than father abandonment, more painful than war, the deepest pain of her life. 4 years later, Sean is born, alive, healthy, a miracle. 10 years after that, Luca is born, another son, another miracle. But the daughter is never forgotten, never replaced, never stops being mourned. Sean grows up knowing, I have a sister I never met. She was going to be my older sister. She died at 6 months. My mother never stopped grieving. Decades later, Sean speaks about her, gives voice to the sister who had none. It was a little girl, and she was going to be my older sister. Past tense, but present in memory, present in grief, present in the empty space where a daughter should have been. Audrey Hepburn had 2 living children, Sean and Luca, sons she loved, sons who brought her joy. But she had 3 dead children too. 3 miscarriages, 3 losses, 3 griefs. And one of them, the daughter at 6 months, the girl who almost was, the baby who died without explanation, was her deepest pain, more painful than anything, ever. That's the story the world didn't see. Behind the elegance, behind the smile, behind the icon. A mother mourning a daughter, a woman carrying grief alongside grace. The baby girl who almost was, the sister Sean never met, the daughter Audrey lost, and never, ever forgot. This is Audrey Hepburn, The Hidden Truth. From wartime horrors to Hollywood secrets, we uncover what they've been hiding for decades. Subscribe to discover the dark truth behind the elegant image.